Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Hey, folks, good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the show. Antoine Woods is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor, text 304-935-5008. We do the show from the Par-Mar Store studio. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Getting ready. It's been going on for the 500 gallons of free gas giveaway with Par-Mar Stores and WVRC Media. Register at any Kanawha County Par-Mar location or several other locations around the valley, including A to Z, Outlet of St. Albans, Trojan Landing Marine of Charleston, and Pearson Legal Services of Kanawha City, just to name a few. We're going to draw the winner July 27th during a special event live at A to Z Outlet in St. Albans starting at 10 in the morning. It is presented by WVRC Media and Par-Mar Stores. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you, as always, by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill Ford Lincoln on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville. Drive home and new 2024 Ford Escape with a 2.9% APR for up to 72 months plus a $1,000 trade assist rebate. Must qualify for offers through Ford Financial. See Thornhill for all the details. Phone calls to the show is service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly on Spring Street. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor, located on Virginia Street in downtown Charleston, gearing up for their big concert, which will be the Summer Jam, July the 27th at the Red Carpet Pavilion. Also a reminder that Tony the Taylor will be closed for vacation starting tomorrow going through the 27th. And wanted to give a special shout out to Ryan that works at the store, because Ryan is a new father. Just he and his wife brought a youngin into the world, as we'd say in Southern West Virginia. So congratulations to Ryan. Coming up on the show this morning, a little bit later on, of course, we're going to have more about the Republican National Convention from Milwaukee. Yes, Big Jim and Baby Dog were there last night. We're going to get your reactions to that, plus Delegate Kayla Young will be stopping by a little bit later on as well. Let me bring in our good friend Millie Snyder from the Shape Shop. Good morning, Millie. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Dave. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. Been watching the Republican National Convention?
No.
Okay. Let's move on.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to mince words.
Well, I love you for your honesty. All right, so
I thought maybe just the simple answer was
it's fine. We don't talk politics when you're on the show anyway, so I wouldn't ask you. To get into anything, be it Republican, Democrat, or otherwise. I would not ask you to get into that at all.
But I am here to congratulate you.
Really?
Yes, because I was so impressed because you shared on Facebook a healthy meal that you ate somewhere.
One.
Well,
I blame Tom Sussman for that. My good friend Tom Sussman.
Well, thank you, Tom Sussman, for showing you the pathway. But I must tell you, I was impressed. You had grilled chicken on a salad, and I was cheering in my kitchen. You go, Dave. You go, man.
I have always liked. I mean, the thing about me is when it comes to food is I love everything. So I'm not opposed to having. I love salads. I love grilled chicken. I love salmon. I love all that stuff.
But we want you to eat the fried and the grease and the crap less.
Yeah. Well, and I'm on my way there.
Okay, that's good.
As I shared with Millie, and I wasn't going to say anything about it on the air, but Millie and I were talking to the ground, and she's the queen of breaking news. But no, I had a little health issue. It was nothing major, but I started. It started when I went to an optometrist because I needed new glasses, and they were looking around in my head and whatever, and they didn't find a whole lot, to be honest with you. But they noticed a blood spot in my eye. It was like a floating blood spot, and they said you need to probably go to your primary care physician and get this looked at. Well, ashamed to say I didn't have a primary care physician. So I went to one and finally found somebody that was taking new patients. And I went to one, and the lady, when she was taking my blood pressure, and let me just say, shout out to Nurse Tanya, who is from extreme southern West Virginia, where I'm from. She's further south than I am. Tanya, when she took my blood pressure, said, "Oh my God, honey, lay down." and I said,
"We need to send love to her." Thank you.
And so it was pretty high. It was, both numbers were triple digits, and that's
what we call scary stuff.
Yeah, and she said, "Okay, you need to lay down immediately," and so I had to start making a few lifestyle changes here and there. They didn't put me on a diet per se, because I would have argued. I would have said, Millie Snyder says that's not what you do. You do lifestyle changes.
That's exactly right.
I am not perfect by any stretch of the, and I've only been into this thing about a month.
That's a big relief that you're not perfect.
Darn close. But no, I've been trying to do a little bit better, doing a little bit more exercise, eating a little bit more. Cutting out salt is a big deal for me because, number one, Southern West Virginia. That's what we do. We salt everything.
Yes, I want Southern West Virginia to hear this broadcast because they need, and I hope it becomes their wish, to begin changing their eating habits.
I'm the kid who literally had a salt shaker in my locker in grade school.
I believe you.
I salted everything. And so
I believe you. And I want to someday, the next time I'm on, I want to tell you there's a real story about JCPenney. Mm-hmm. Because back in the day, I have to tell it now.
Okay.
Back in the day when JCPenney actually ran his business, if he was considering you for a promotion, he invited you out for lunch. And he observed your eating habits. If you salted your food before you tasted it, you didn't get the promotion.
Okay.
If you tasted your food and then made your decision, you were considered more favorable for the position. And that's something that we could learn from. And by the way, this is listed in the biography about JCPenney.
I did
How
not know
many
that.
of us have that salt shaker in our purse, in our back pocket, in the car, because we are sure that the food needs salt.
Yeah, no, you're and I will say that this journey for me, and I'm only as I said, I looked it up last night. It's 2 days shy of a month. It's not been as difficult for me as what it would be for some people because I like everything. I just got to watch about adding and finding things, and I'm looking at labels now, and I'm looking at sodium, and I'm thinking, that's...
And I need you also to look at sugar.
Sugar.
Because sugar is now cited by the FDA as a food that is not our friend.
Yeah.
And a lot of people take arms with me. Mm-hmm, my God, leave sugar alone. Don't say that. The truth of the matter is it only tastes good in our mouth. The salt only tastes good in our mouth. But in the meantime, it's contaminating other parts of our body. Why is my food store healthy and without preservatives and chemicals in the food? Because it's the way to eat. Oh, and by the way, I want to share with you, we have a brand new venue today for the food truck.
Yeah.
We're going to Thomas Hospital.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody is out and about in that part of the valley, please stop and have a wonderful lunch with us. Of course, you can always come to the store itself.
Which is located at? Okay.
706 Central Avenue, and that's on the west side of Charleston. But we're excited to be at a new venue for lunchtime today at Thomas.
And
Hospital.
how long are you there? What are the hours?
We're going to be there from 11 to 1:30.
All right, so if you're anywhere in the area, just swing on over to Thomas. And what's on the truck today?
Oh, gosh, we have our whole menu is there. We will make a number of different wraps. You want salmon bites, you can get those. And, about a year and a half ago, when the girls in the Shape Shop put salmon bites on the truck, I thought that was crazy because people don't eat cooked salmon when they're walking around, In the meantime, they sold out. And
shows what you know, huh?
Absolutely. And the point is that people want fresh, clean, delicious food. And that's what we pride ourselves in making at the Shape Shop. If you need salt, you can add it, but we're not going to hand you food that is already so salty, you need to drink a bottle of water afterwards.
A lot of times,
drink water, please.
Well, a lot of times, and I've heard you say this, and you and I have been doing this for about 4 years now, I've heard you say, don't be fooled by labels that say low fat, no fat, or whatever.
Absolutely.
Just, you got to read what's actually in it. One thing I have discovered, and you may admonish me for this, may be good or may be bad, is I love spicy food. I mean, the spicier the better. I have been putting, instead of salt, I've been using, it used to be called Mrs. Dash. Now it's just called Dash.
You must have gotten divorced.
There's no, or we don't want to put genders on things anymore.
This is true.
It's Dash now. But the extra spicy, and there's no sodium in it. Pretty much nothing.
And it has an excellent taste, and I use it in my own house.
All right, so I passed. I mean, that's okay. I can use the Dash, and it's available in a variety of different flavors. I use the extra spicy because
and if you need a little kick, you can use that on so many of your choices.
Oh, I have.
But eating healthfully is for the preservation of our well-being, and people just don't know how to do that. Now, the weight loss drug is all over television because thousands upon thousands of people are taking it, but they are not learning proper eating habits. And I'm just so upset about it.
All right, I'm going to ask you to put your headphones on because I think we have a call for you.
Great.
So put your headphones on, and don't break the microphone in the process, okay?
Thank
All right,
you.
Antoine, we're ready. Go ahead and put him through. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, I just wanted to congratulate Millie on just a great career of helping people with weight loss in the Kanawha Valley and around southern West Virginia. She really made a change in my life. It helped me make a change of lifestyle. I lost 100 pounds. My blood pressure went down. The Shape Shop the food is great, and just appreciate everything she's done.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jim, I appreciate you calling in. Thanks a lot.
Wow, that's great news. Thank you very much.
All right, well, there's your fan. You got another one. Actually, I have a question here for you.
Okay.
Said, Millie, why in the world in the first world country like the USA are things like MSG still legal?
Well, because a lot of people who prepare food are not paying attention to that because it definitely has some ugly side effects. Monosodium glutamate is not a friend. And again, I'm going to tie that in with the same sentence. Neither is sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to understand that these news items that are out there, if there are places that are still serving that, there's a simple way that we say, no thank you, or could you tell me what's in the food that you're preparing? Now, they're not going to kick you out. They're not going to take your photo and swear that you'll never come into that restaurant again. But if we are not afraid to ask questions, and we need to ask for fresh, could you tell me how this is prepared? And that's what I want people to know. In my Mediterranean group, I teach our members how to take recipes apart and decide if these are healthy. Eating breakfast, lunch, and supper sounds very simple to you and I, but you would be amazed, Dave, at how many people do not understand those simple steps. And they run out and get fried food, and they don't eat all day long, but they justify it because they haven't eaten all day. Mm-hmm. And that's body abuse.
It is.
And that's health abuse.
You mentioned before we let you go your classes. Talk about your classes that you offer again.
Well, I have 2 Mediterranean groups, Thursday morning, Saturday morning. It's in a private room at our Shape Shop building, 706 Central Avenue. And tomorrow we're meeting at 9 a.m. And then again, Saturday morning, we'll meet at 9 a.m. A modest fee to come and learn how to eat and how to eat healthfully. Don't let the word Mediterranean scare you. It simply refers to a very healthy way of eating that was adopted from that part of the world. And you will eat better eating Mediterranean food than you've eaten in your entire life because all of it is not contaminated. And I want to teach as many people as want to learn it. The weight loss drug is not the answer.
Indeed. And you're over at Thomas today. So
today we're at
starting
Thomas,
11 o'clock.
And then this coming Friday, we'll be back at Live on the Levee.
Cool.
And that's going to be winding down, I think, in the middle of August. And our food truck is available for any business that would like to honor their employees or just do something special for that area where they're located. All they have to do is call the Shape Shop, and we'll be happy to help them.
All right. Millie, appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Shape Shop located at
706 Central Avenue on the west side of Charleston. And you looking good, Dave. Keep up the good work.
Maybe from the neck down. I don't know. We can't do anything about the neck up, so.
I don't know about that, but we'll have another discussion on that.
How nice. 922, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, presented in part by General Hardware of Winfield and Milton and General Lumber of Winfield for all projects big and small. Shop locally. Visit generalhardwarewv.com. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-500. Delegate Kayla Young coming up next. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small businesses.
Looking to buy or sell U.S. coins or currency, or need an appraisal on a coin collection? The Coin Man in St. Albans has been established since 2009, and he's the area's expert in currency. Whether you're buying or selling coins and coin accessories, he's got you covered. But that's not all. He also deals in select antiques and glassware. Visit the Coin Man today at 2412 Kanawha Terrace in St. Albans and discover treasures that transcend time. The Coin Man, where every coin tells a story.
Red, white, and vroom! Gear up for incredible savings at Thornhill Ford Lincoln on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Hey, it's Sydney, and right now at Thornhill, you can drive home a new 2024 Ford Escape with 2.9% APR for up to 72 months. Plus a $1,000 trade assist rebate. Shop online anytime at thornhillford.net or visit us on US 119 in Chapmanville. Discover why Thornhill Ford Lincoln is your...
Summer's here and the deals are heating up at Bowser Nissan. Drive home the 2024 Nissan Rogue SV all-wheel drive and get 1.9% APR for up to 36 months. Visit BowserNissan.com today. 1.9% APR for 36 months for well-qualified buyers with credit approval and financing through NMAC. Dealer doc fee of $464 applies. Offer ends July 31st. BowserNissan.com. Bowser Nissan, Route 51 South on top of the hill.
Wow, it feels like summer just started, but time sure is flying by, and before you know it, school will be back in session. This school year, Members Choice West Virginia can help you check off everything on your school shopping list with a back-to-school loan. Now through August 31st, you can get all the school supplies you need with a back-to-school loan of up to $1,500 with rates as low as 7.99% and up to 12 months to pay back. Apply today at 201 Ohio Avenue in Charleston or visit MCWV online at memberschoicewv.com. Loans are subject to credit approval. Additional restrictions may apply.
Homeownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, RSV, and more. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond the state. Valuable resource for all. Discover the latest episodes on WVMetroNews.com under the podcast menu and start your journey towards better health today. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-500. Antoine Woods again is our producer today. Did you happen to catch the governor at the Republican National Convention last night? I'm going to weigh in on that a little bit later on in the show, but if you want to go ahead and text me and load up my text line with what you thought of the governor's performance. And I mean, let's face it, I'm not trying to be mean when I say performance, but no matter what it's all performance. You know, that's what they're there for. So let me know what you thought about it. Just go ahead and give me a text and we'll read those when we can. Text says, Dave, I don't think moving the beer refrigerator further from your recliner constitutes exercise. It certainly does. It's in the garage, by the way. It's in the garage. Loaded up show tomorrow. Kanawha County Commissioner Ben Salango will be stopping by, plus Tim Brady from the Charleston Convention and Visitors Bureau. I had him scheduled for Monday's show to talk about the numbers that have come back from the Pro Road Bike Championship here in Charleston. Huge numbers. For the city of Charleston and for the entire Kanawha Valley. Tim and I had him scheduled Monday, but with everything that happened last weekend, we thought best to postpone. Tim will be on the show tomorrow. Plus, your friend and mine, State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin will be on the show tomorrow as well. Let me welcome to the show now Delegate Kayla Young. Delegate, good morning. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. This is my second radio interview today. I won't say their name, but Yeah, I feel like I'm on a tour.
What?
Yes.
You mean there's another radio show besides this one?
Not around here.
Okay, all right. Is it affiliated with our company some way?
No, I don't think it is. That's why I'm not going to say who it was.
All right, it's okay. We don't own you on this show. First of all, I want to get a little serious here for a moment. And I've done this with just about every guest that I've had on the show this week. Oh, by the way, I did have a text for Millie I forgot to read that said, "Yay, I would vote for Millie." That's what one of the texters said. I asked her if she'd been watching the RNC, and she point blank went, "No."
You should run.
And I said to her, I won't ask you to talk politics, but somebody in turn then said, I would vote for Millie. But with most of the guests I've had on in this show, Delegate, I have asked them about their thoughts on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump Saturday evening in Butler, Pennsylvania. You want to weigh in?
Absolutely. I was out of town with a group of legislators, and we were all shocked and appalled. I think it's terrifying and really, really scary, and no one should ever be subjected to violence. And I really am concerned with the failure of the Secret Service. I don't know. I can't understand how someone with a gun got that close to him.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of heads roll on this thing. And again, I want to talk about that a little bit later on the show. And I'm trying not to politicize it, but there is a massive breakdown here. Now, where you start getting into murky waters is all the conspiracy theories out there. And I tend to, let's let it play out,
Absolutely.
But I don't think anybody, Delegate, would disagree. There was a massive failure by someone here, and I think somebody at the top of the Secret Service is probably going to lose their job over this.
I think they should. It's terrifying.
When you say, and again, I don't want to get, I don't want to presume too much, but when you say it was a sloped roof up there, well, he had no problem getting up there. And I saw a meme yesterday, not to make fun of this, that said, going back years ago, we couldn't get, it said, thank goodness that Osama bin Laden wasn't on a sloped roof.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wild because it's not like they were in a city, right, where there's a lot of potential points. It looked like they were out in the middle of nowhere. So there were only so many options. So it's scary and it's terrible.
But I am happy to hear you. I'm happy to hear your statement, and Mike Pushkin's earlier as well, to say, we've got to somehow tone this down. Now, we could, when the investigation comes out, we could find out this could be a Jodie Foster, a John Hinckley Jr. type situation where there was no political bent at all, just somebody that was a little nuts and did this, and we'll let all that play out. But I'm happy to hear you and others that may be on the complete, total opposite end of the spectrum from Donald Trump to say what you just said.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know if you know, there was a House statement that went out from 99 members. So I was thankful that they wrote that for us, and I was happy to sign on to it. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
Yeah. So how do we tone down some of this rhetoric? Because regardless of what we find out about the shooter, there's a lot of it out there, and there's enough on both sides to float the proverbial battleship. So
That's right. There is. I don't know how, and it's scary. I've wondered that for a long time because I don't know how you tone it down because everyone's so angry and so upset and so hateful on both sides, and I don't know how we tone it down. I hope that we do. I was a little alarmed by something the governor said last night, and I thought it was quite violent, potentially.
Talk about it.
I didn't watch his whole thing. I turned it on halfway through, and I believe he said if Donald Trump doesn't win, we will become absolutely unhinged. I don't know the exact quote.
Yeah, I have the quote here. Let me see.
I don't want to steal your show.
No. It's fine. We become totally unhinged if Donald Trump is not elected in November. That was a direct quote from Governor Justice last night.
Yeah, that's a little alarming to me in the wake of us all trying to tone down violence. And I don't find the governor to be that type of person in any capacity. I think he's silly, but I don't know him to be, I wouldn't even call him mean, I just think he's kind of goofy and funny and a very nice enough person. But I don't know. I found that kind of alarming because we've seen people become totally unhinged when Donald Trump wasn't elected. So literally. So it scared me a little bit.
I was quite taken aback by the statement myself last night, to be honest with you. And what I said after day one was I thought, because I watched a lot more coverage on day one than I did on day two. And on day one, I thought, well, they're talking primarily about the economy. And that's what what they did at the RNC. Mondays, they have a theme for every night, and Mondays was Make America Wealthy, because it was a different theme.
Okay.
And they talked about primarily the economy and things of that nature, what people are paying at the grocery store and things of that nature. But then I guess I'm a little apprehensive that as we get closer to the big finish on Thursday night, that you're going to start hearing more and more.
I hope not, because at least I've read that Trump had tore up his speech and now he's trying to be the great unifier, which is wild. But I want less divisiveness from everyone. So I think it would be excellent if leaders are doing that as well. So, yeah, I hope it was just a misspeak. But, I mean, he was reading off a prompter, so I don't know.
No, he did have Baby Dog with him.
He did. And it was so wild because right after he said that statement, it panned out to showing him in Baby Dog. And I was like, oh, now everyone knows her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, there's not going to be an appearance by Jim Justice that there wasn't Baby Dog there.
That's right.
Baby Dog was there, and I read some of and I wondered I just wondered what the rest of the country, because we've kind of grown accustomed to Baby Dog here, and it's just another thing. And now Politico and all these other, I saw an article that was tweeted out X'd out by Fox News that who is Baby Dog.
I saw rumors that there was like an issue with her being there on the with the people.
Yeah, because I had texted you last night just to remind you that we had set this up 2 weeks ago, and I texted you and I said, hey, don't forget about your appearance tomorrow. And you said, I've heard that there's, but I don't know what the rumors would have been.
I know people that are there working there, like on media, and that I didn't know the rumors either, just that there was like a problem.
Well, I mean, Baby Dog has become quite a diva, and
I don't think it's her.
And has every right to be.
I never blame her.
Well, and I will say,
she's humble.
I will say this: I don't know exactly if there was an issue, but with the governor's speaking last night, because I had seen where my friend Stephen Allen Adams from Ogden Newspapers had said, like, the governor coming up in like 30 seconds, and I was watching it last night, and I was like, okay, they kept going from person to person, and I don't know what the issue was. I mean, that's obviously a live show, so they're moving people around constantly. I thought the governor was going to be on a little bit.
Was he on time?
Well, I don't know whether he was in the building or not. I'm
sure he was. That's a big building.
I'm not sure if I have any time. Speaking of the governor, your thoughts on a lot of the talk of the budget surplus, and the governor's proposed tax cuts, because this we know that everybody keeps talking about the surplus that we have. I had Eric Tarr on the show yesterday talking about it. And the governor is proposing, when you have a special session, I guess next month, he's proposing even more tax cuts. A lot of people are saying, to use their terminology, pump the brakes here, including Senator Tarr.
That's
and
right.
I think House Speaker Henshaw was on with Hoppy and said, well, let's just kind of take a look at this. Where are you on these things?
I do think we need to take a look at it. We stopped getting the 6-year look ahead, which is in the weeds, but typically when we would get budget things throughout session, we would have a 6-year look ahead to see how the culmination of everything we were doing is going to affect our budget, and that stopped at some point during Governor Justice's term. So we no longer have that look ahead to see how everything comes into play. We did the Hope Scholarship bill a few years ago, and it really kicks into gear. I want to say this year or maybe next year, and that's a massive further financial thing. Plus, we did the 21.5% tax cut, and we had all the COVID money. So I agree that we need to take a minute and look at where our finances are to see what we're capable of doing. I think it's a total somewhere like $650 million in surplus, I believe. I know childcare is number one on my list to pay for.
I'm going to get into that a little bit later on. Again, we're talking with Delegate Kayla Young. The Dave Allen Show and 580 Live brought to you part by Bridge Valley. If you're interested in improving your company's IT workforce, please know Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap. At Bridge Valley, train for little or no cost with a 50-50 salary match. Bridge Valley can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today. Some people have said, I don't want to put you in a position that you don't want to answer, but some people have said that this whole thing, one person being Eric Tarr, said that this whole thing about even further tax cuts that the governor's asking for, that this is just campaign fodder, as he called it. Your thoughts?
That could be true. I'm also not sure if he was, when he initially called for that 5%, when he was announcing, the whole big balloon thing, where they were talking about how much money they had, and he announced the additional 5%. I'm not sure if he was aware that there was going to be a cut, because right after he said that, there was the 4% cut, because when we did that 21.5% tax cut, there's also triggers to further cut it. So technically, it's going to lower if we meet these benchmarks regardless. So I guess I don't know why we need to come back in and slash another 5% when 4% already went in. So it's already up to 29%.
See, we're bridging gaps already. You and Eric Tarr are on exactly the same page.
Sometimes we are.
There's more agreements in government than there are disagreements, but they just don't make the headlines because of people like me.
But agreements are boring, right? For a lot of the time, we want the gossip and the drama, and when we all agree, it's not exciting. Yeah. But good things can happen.
Yeah. You mentioned childcare, or you mentioned children in general. There are major issues with DHHR still, and they're coming out. We've had kind of a bit of a lull here for a bit, but from the situation in Boone County, with the situation in the Sissonville area. There seems to be so many issues, Delegate, with child care in the state, for be it DHHR or other agencies or just individuals. How do we fix it? What do we do?
I was talking specifically about child care, like daycare type programs. I like to use the word child care because we're not taking care of days, we're taking care of children. But I'm talking about child care for when people need to go to work or, something like that. However, there are, and that portion of DHHR, or what was known as DHHR, works extremely well. We just need to give them some more funding. So they're great. They're great at their jobs, and definitely some more people in child care. But people don't want to open child care facilities because they make $0. They make the math doesn't math. And so we need way more child care facilities, but who would do that because you're working your butt off and not getting any benefits? It's a terrible business model by design because people can't afford what it actually costs to provide child care. But we need folks to get to work. And so they can't get to work if they don't have somewhere for their beautiful children to go. Largely speaking about DHHR in general, we've got a lot of issues with the foster care system. Still completely broken, over 6 in foster care, and that should keep you up at night. I hope it keeps everyone up at night. And then also, the recent stuff with the folks that we've seen in Boone County and the death of the young girl, and then that leads to the larger conversation of homeschooling. Whether those are the same conversation, I don't know, but they have been recently in the news.
I think it was Hoppy that said, and I agree with what Hoppy said, that nobody's saying in that situation that homeschooling caused the little girl to lose her life. No,
that's right. No, they are not
one is saying that. And there are countless homeschooling success stories out there that people, good friends of mine, that are doing it 100% right. However, there is a breakdown somewhere.
Yes.
When the reporting, they go whatever, and you've been following the story closer than I have. When they went, I had Delegate Krause on here, who's a big proponent of homeschooling, that laid it out. If you're homeschooling, these are your requirements.
That's right.
This is what you're supposed to do. And these people apparently in Boone County didn't do it, and no one checked on them.
I think the number is low. Less than half of people do the requirements, and it's four assessments that you turn in. It's like 3rd grade, 5th grade. There's 4. I don't know the exact requirements.
Yeah, she laid it all out when she was here.
She knows, and she's very, very well versed in these requirements.
So is this something that the legislature needs to look at, Delegate? I mean, do we need to go in and go, hey, we got to tighten this? We need a 6 months evaluation. We need a 1-year evaluation, or?
I don't know the answer. And something that I find it's really hard to track kids because we don't track kids like we track adults. They don't pay taxes, so we don't track them. And I don't know how we track them while keeping their privacy safe.
Yeah.
A database scares me but at the same time, they're children. It feels as if we have a lot more homeschool regulations than a lot of states do, frankly, even though I feel like they're fairly lax, but obviously other states kids aren't dying at the rate that they are here. So something's broken. To me, it tells me our communities are a little bit broken, because if that's the only time eyes are on kids, and eyes aren't on kids when these assessments are turned in, they're mailed in. So once you pull your kids out of public school, no one has to technically see them again. So I don't know what the answer becomes to ensure that these kids are safe. We want to trust parents to ensure that kids are safe because that's their job. That's the parents' job, and we should be able to trust them. But kids keep dying, and that scares me.
I was going to say, do we need to look at, and again, I'm the one that always says, let's keep government out of people's lives.
Sure.
But there are certain aspects, I can't pave my roads, so we need the government for certain things.
Yeah.
Is this something that maybe I don't put all the emphasis on the legislature, but is this something the legislature needs to take a look at and say, look, we want to see these kids in person. We want to see these kids in person. We want to see their tracking. A form, an email is not going to cut it. We want to see them in person. But then you also go back to the situation as where we started this conversation, Delegate, which is we don't have enough people.
Yeah, that's right.
And so who is going to be the person that goes and visits homeschooling mom Kayla Young's house to see if she's doing what she's supposed to be doing? Who are we going to send out?
Yeah, I don't know. I've even thought that maybe homeschooling parents could just turn in like a well visit from a doctor, because doctors are mandatory reporters and kids are all going to a pediatrician. So maybe that's a way to not intrude on their homes and their lives. I don't know the answer, but I think that's a conversation we should all be having together.
Text says, and I will let you go on this one, I appreciate Delegate Young has been watching the RNC convention.
I just watched half of Jim Justice's speech, guys. Thank you, though.
What are your thoughts on Amber Rose, an OnlyFans porn star and Satanist sympathizer who's been historically aligned with the left and the switch to Trump?
I don't have a lot of thoughts on her. I think, wasn't she engaged to Kanye West?
I had no idea who she was.
Those are my only thoughts, quite frankly.
I had never heard her until I saw her on the convention the other night, and I didn't really care enough to. So
yeah, I don't know.
You have no thoughts. Okay.
Few thoughts.
All right. I got you. So do you have opposition in the general election?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Same guys last time.
Okay. All right.
And it was a tight race, and it's going to be a tight race again. I'm very worried that folks aren't going to come out to vote. Because I think with Trump as a almost foregone conclusion in West Virginia, that it doesn't incentivize really anyone to come out. So I'm concerned.
I mean, so what's the campaign plan like? By the way, your opposition is always welcome on the show, and I'm equal time. You know,
of course, always.
They're welcome on the show anytime, and we'll have them. We'll have you on as a candidate as we get closer to the election, as we have your opponent. But what's the plan like for the rest of the summer? I mean, are you campaigning already, or are you
I'm not campaigning.
Are you
right
always
now.
campaigning? I guess.
No, I'm not always campaigning. It's summer. I think people want a break. I think it feels like summer's been so politically charged. The whole thing has been, because it's either something's going on in West Virginia or it's going on nationally or both, and it's just been tiring. But no, I think people get the summer off, and then around Labor Day we start back up, including myself. My kids, it's hard on them too, so we take some time off.
Well, you got to have it every now and then. Delegate Kayla Young, I appreciate you being here as always.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot. 9:43, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Birds continue their road series in Lexington. They're back at Gomart Ballpark Friday night to begin a weekend series against Gastonia. For tickets, promotions, schedules, Dirty Birds gear, and more, visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Back after this, in the voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you looking for a technical job in the medical field? Generations is growing and looking to add on job-trained physical therapy techs to our rehab team. To apply, visit one of our 7 convenient locations or simply click on us at generationspt.com.
Foundation issues? Wet basement? Drainage problems? Contact Foster Foundation Repair. Locally owned and operated by a licensed professional engineer, Foster Foundation Repair provides rock-solid service with certified results. Contact us today for a free evaluation. Foster Foundation Repair. Rock-solid service. Certified results. FosterFoundationRepair.com. West Virginia contractor license WV061105.
According to USA Today, 1 in 7 children in West Virginia face food insecurity issues. Hi, I'm Jason Quintrell, President and CEO of Union Mission Ministries. There are some obstacles our children face with access to food despite many feeding programs available. That is why Union Mission has partnered with some local middle schools to place food directly into the hands of children who need it. Help us remove those obstacles and help feed our kids. Visit unionmission.com to learn more.
Did you know that most homes and businesses in West Virginia have some sort of foundation settlement problem? If you're experiencing a settling foundation or sunken concrete slab, call the professionals at Marco Concrete Lifting. With the most advanced solutions and engineered equipment, your structural stability is their top priority. Marco Concrete Lifting can provide a structural engineer referral upon request. Protect your biggest investment, your home. Call Marco Concrete Lifting today at 722-LIFT. That's 722-LIFT.
9:45, Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text, 304-935-5008. The impact of Special Olympics extends far beyond the athletes themselves. Volunteers and supporters touched by the unwavering determination of these extraordinary individuals find immeasurable fulfillment in their involvement. The inclusive approach embraced by Special Olympics fosters an environment where everyone plays a vital role. West Virginia, enriched in collaboration with Huntington, invites you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580WCHS. I got some text here. Text says, when a party runs by instilling fear. It affects the whole race. Toning down the fear and talking positively about love and unity doesn't seem to bring in the undecided, says a texter. Text says, yeah, good job. Folks need to be careful jumping to conclusions. One thing I remember from last week, the people most mad at GOP Trump last week were the evangelicals after the moderation of the pro-life planks. Historically, pro-lifers love violence, says a texter. I was talking to somebody who was is very involved in national politics in the Republican Party, and I guess maybe this kind of flew under my radar a little bit, but they were talking about that there was something to that I guess the national platform, there was some talk, and again, somebody can call me or text me, tell me if I'm wrong, but there was some talk that some people within the Republican Party were apparently upset with Donald Trump because he kind of had his hands on the platform, and the choice of J.D. Vance as the vice president for Donald Trump and Vance are in different places when it comes to the abortion issue. I mean, whether you agree or disagree, J.D. Vance is much more to the pro-life side 100% than what Donald Trump is. Now, what I mean by that is J.D. Vance has come out and said, I don't know whether he's speaking, I think tonight, so we'll see whether if he addresses it all or changes it, but J.D. Vance is one that said abortion should only be an issue if the life of the mother is in peril. That's the only way in the world of J.D. Vance. So rape, incest, not a thing, according to J.D. Vance. So he and Trump aren't exactly the same page. But yeah, I have heard some intel from some of my friends in the National Republican Party that a few of them were not very happy with former President Trump because of his view. Trump was a pro-choice guy. Remember that. He's also a Democrat. and that there are people that are, a little bit, they'd like to see him take a different type tone. But now Nikki Haley, last night trying to be a unifier, saying you don't have to agree with Donald Trump on everything. That was a quote from Nikki Haley, who spoke last night, to agree that we need him in the White House. And that was a quote from Nikki Haley last night. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Brightway Insurance and Mays Agency. They now offer small business insurance through 4 major carriers: the Hartford, Travelers, Progressive, and Next. Call or stop by and see John and Sherry Mays today, 3860 Tays Valley Road, Suite 1 in Hurricane, 304-814-2509, or visit brightwaymays.com. Text says it's not both sides. Republican politicians and leaders talk all the time about violence, encourage political violence, and demean and demagogue everyone that's not Republican or even Republican enough, whatever that means. I'm not going to be lectured by bad faith actors whose only concept of unity is complete submission to their anti-democratic and anti-factual views. How do I unify with someone who thinks January 6th was an inside job or a good thing, or thinks I'm a Marxist, racist, and radical left thug that lives like vermin within the confines of the country? Texas NBC asked him a question as he moved about with baby dog in a wagon. He said he didn't hear the question and kept moving. Guess he was on his way to speak, says a texter. Text says Trump and the Platform Committee have completely ruined the GOP platform at the national level. The West Virginia delegation should be ashamed of themselves for not fighting against the liberalism from creeping in. Terrible, terrible leadership, says a texter. Hoppy coming up at 10:06 with Talkline, and man, I thought I had a loaded up show tomorrow. Hoppy has on, among others, John Decker is going to be on to talk about the RNC. Hoppy doing pot. Or at least talking about what we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now, about the possible changes for cannabis possession within the city of Charleston. Chris Steyerwald is on the show today. Stephen Allen Adams from Ogden Newspaper. State Treasurer Riley Moore is on the show today. He is in Milwaukee. The camera caught him several times at the RNC. And Leslie Rubin, our good friend, the Rubes from WCHS Fox 11, will be on with Hoppy today, coming up at 10:06 from the Encova Insurance Studios in the Dale Miller Building in Morgan hometown. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Do want to remind you, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Their lead paint inspection and risk assessment services are designed to identify and to assess the presence of lead-based paints in buildings and other structures using a 3-phase approach of inspection, sampling, and lab analysis and an assessment report. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
Hey, it's Dave Allen for Parmar Stores. And now that the warm weather months are here, you know where you need to be. Your local Parmar store. Heading to the lake, the ball field, or your favorite picnic site, or just working around your place, Parmar has everything you'll need. From gas to grocery, snacks, and much, much more. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Are you changing jobs or gearing up for retirement? Don't navigate your financial journey alone. At 4th Avenue Financial, we specialize in guiding individuals through life's transitions. From optimizing your retirement savings to managing your investments, we're here to provide expert advice every step of the way. Schedule your free consultation with John Burdett and take control of your financial future today. 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through Jenny B. Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny B. Cole Advisors Incorporated.
Welcome to Poca Valley, where we've been in business since 1908. Today, we serve Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties. We believe you deserve banking that provides friendly customer service. For all of your financial needs, stop by one of our 8 convenient locations. Call us at 844-782-2651 or visit us online at PocaValleyBank.com. Poca Valley, where relationships matter.
Member FDIC.
Make this summer a summer of safety. Mon Power and Potomac Edison are here with tips to help. Cover all outdoor electrical outlets to keep them dry. Make sure foil balloons are securely tied down and never release them near power lines. And never fly drones or kites near substations or other electrical equipment. For more safety tips, visit firstenergycorp.com/safety. This message sponsored by First Energy, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and the station.
9:53, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Hudson's Pizza. This month, it's your favorite Hudson's. Order any regularly priced large 18-inch pizza and get a 2-liter Pepsi at no additional charge. Appreciate someone texted me. I saw a lot of these memes last night of Baby Dog, and they all had something to do with the words Christy Nome. Please stay away from Baby Dog. Don't mean to laugh about the situation, but that's what it is. Text says, Dave, President Trump is the only hope to reverse the deterioration of the Biden administration, open borders being the biggest issue, says a texter. Text says, the supposed conservatives from West Virginia that you see on your TV during the convention fought alongside Trump to liberalize the GOP platform. Remember that. West Virginia. Dave Allen Show 580 Live, brought to you part by Hudson's Pizza. Did I already read that? I'll read it again. This month, it's your favorite Hudson's. Order any regularly priced large 18-inch pizza. Get a 2-liter Pepsi at no additional charge. I do want to mention this little housekeeping here. I want to say a happy birthday. And it's not to a person, but it's to a station. Today is the 1-year anniversary since we launched 98.7 The Mountain, Wild and Wonderful Classic Rock. And I'm proud to be a small part of that station, helping them out. You can catch me if you want to hear me doing the music thing on weekends on the Mountain. I'm on Sundays from noon till 7. And we've had a great time with it. And it was just kind of an idea. And, of course, we brought Steve Animal out of the Mothballs for the show. But from Steve and myself and Hollywood Jeff Petty and the other Jeff, we have 2 Jeffs on the show, or on the station, I should say. And from Amy Ryan and everybody, thank you for listening to The Mountain. It's been a labor of love. It's been a success beyond our wildest imagination. So if you like classic rock, you may want to check it out. 98.7 The Mountain, Wild, Wonderful Classic Rock, celebrating 1 year today. The Dave Allen Show, 580 Live, brought to you part by Jute. For the best in security systems for both your home or business, talk to Jute of Tays Valley. Visit protectedbyjute.com. So the governor of Milwaukee last night for the RNC. Let's just say he didn't make quite an impact, but we knew he would. especially with baby dog in tow. David Beard of the Dominion Post out of Morgantown has a recap this morning posted at WVMetroNews.com. The governor taking the time to praise former President Trump. And I kind of talked a little bit about this earlier. I will say that unlike a lot of the other speakers last night and the night before, the governor did not really use at all the opportunity to talk about his own race for Senate. He's facing Democratic Wheeling Mayor Glenn Elliott in the general election. And as Delegate Young mentioned, one thing that did not set well with some was when he said, and again the quote was, "We become totally unhinged if Donald Trump is not elected in November." End quote. So I guess so much for what I said yesterday about the first day theme, kind of dialing down the rhetoric. And look, you know me. I am the ultimate free speech guy. But I'm not one to second guess the governor. But I'm not so sure language like that is what we need. Not a snowflake that says, or might need stretch of the imagination. I just don't know that I would have said that. But again, the governor kind of does his own thing, and that's why people love him. And on the other side, there are also those that are saying that if Trump is reelected, it's the end of the world as we know it, to quote REM. And you know what I've said. There was a country before Donald Trump, despite what he may think. And there will be a country after him, or Joe Biden. I will, or whomever the Democrats put up. It may be Biden. That talk's kind of been, put on the back burner for a while. I will say it again. I want to think and hope and pray that a country that survived the Civil War, 2 major world wars, the 60s, the turbulence there, 9/11, et cetera. I want to think we can survive the next few months and what hopefully will be a peaceful inauguration and transfer of power. If there is a transfer of power, if there is, and there may not be, whatever happens come Election Day and then by January, I hope we get through this. The RNC, Republican National Convention, will continue tonight. If you can't watch it or you want the ABC coverage, we provide it for you. And, of course, Hoppy will continue the RNC talk coming up at 10:06. I will say I'm looking forward to watching the Democrat National Convention, which will be held August the 19th through Thursday the 22nd of August in Chicago. I just think it's going to be interesting to compare and contrast the two. They may be more alike than you think. I mean, not obviously on their ideals or anything like that, but they may be more alike as far as what the tone, and again, we're only at the halfway point of the RNC. We still got vice presidential pick J.D. Vance coming up tonight, among others, and then, of course, the president tomorrow night. And have you noticed that since the attempt on the life of former President Trump on Saturday, have you noticed that everyone that suddenly was an expert on dementia, old age, and Alzheimer's and the like as it pertains to President Biden are now experts on Secret Service protocol? And as Delegate Young and I talked about, there obviously something went horribly, horribly wrong on Saturday. And I think we're going to have to take a very, very close look at this moving forward. And I was going to say cue the conspiracy theories, but, they're already out there. You already know. them. I'm not going to further them, but you already know what they are. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part again by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. If you're injured, visit forthepeople.com. All right, I got a really, 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 really long text. Don't have time to read it. I will try my best to read it tomorrow. Coming up on tomorrow's show, Democrats State Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin will be stopping by. Kanawha County Commissioner Ben Salango's on the show, and Tim Brady from the Charleston CVB. Download the all-new Metro News TV app if you haven't already. Hoppy coming up at 10:06 with Talkline. My producer, Antoine Woods, thank you. See you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston and 104.5 Cross Lanes.
A WVRC media station.
We're proud to live here too.